This week, we talk about sleep. Also, we'll take the mystery out of how much protein to eat per day, and we'll check in to see if I'm any less fat. Let's get into it. Helps to have the fader up.
That's another geeky radio guy term. It's the fader.
The fade out. I nailed the fade out, brah. I could run sound for Zeppelin.
Fader? That's when you play the Homer.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Too many buttons.
I don't even want to touch it.
All right. So, Duey, we're going to talk about sleep this week. You know,
Yes.
it's kind of apropos because this is the daylight savings time week,
Well, I planned that.
which just jacks everybody hard.
It's
What's funny is my not to throw my wife under the bus.
she
First of
doesn't
all,
listen.
get rid of that pen.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You
I
clicker.
forgot about that. I'm a pen clicker.
Not to throw my wife under the bus, but when she was a stay-at-home mom, kids, nobody in school, every time daylight savings time came around, spring or fall, she would go, "Oh man, I'm going to lose all this sleep again." I said, "Why? You don't have to be anywhere. You don't have school. You don't have a job.
She has a job.
They can sleep till they wake up." Yeah, but she doesn't have to be at
She has a
in a
job.
cubicle at
Don't
8
you remember
a.m.
that Bill Burr bit? She has the most difficult job on the planet. She's
What?
a
Yeah,
mother.
worse than coal miners.
Yep.
But she would always go, "Oh, daylight savings time. Oh, it's screwing me again." It's like, you don't have to be anywhere. You can literally sleep till everybody wakes up on their own. So
Yeah,
anyways,
you ran over and backed up.
I know.
So you're in trouble.
I knew when I was saying it, it was horrible, but it just didn't make sense to my male logical brain.
Yeah, you. Hopefully she doesn't listen this week.
That's the nice thing about being married long enough. They don't care what you do anymore, so I don't think they ever listen.
I don't either. Mel does after I begged like 3 times. Hey, did you listen?
Right?
No. Fine, I'll do it this afternoon.
Too busy watching The Bachelor.
Nope. She doesn't do any of that stuff.
My wife, I meant.
She's one. Oh, I got you. No, mine's mine. She's actually knee deep. Well, not knee deep. She's out of the water now, but she just burned because she's on her spring break.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only Wednesday.
Right.
And she burned through this weekend and into today or yesterday. She finished all the Marvel movies in order.
Oh, jeez.
She said, "I didn't know anything about that. I don't remember that." And I'm just like, because you were staring at your phone every time we watched a movie.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then
I'm surprised that a woman would, not to stereotype, but I mean, those seems like dude movies, right?
oh yeah, but they're not. They're
Yeah.
entertaining. They're funny. And,
Rather.
yeah.
I think as I get older, I just care less about comic book stuff. You still into it?
Oh no, I like those movies though. They're entertaining. I don't know the story behind the rocks in Thanos' hand. I don't geek out on it like that.
Right.
But they're fun.
People take that shit way serious.
Oh, for sure. Like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
it was
he's
awesome.
funny.
I think the second one where they featured a bunch of AC/DC in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, he's funny.
He's killer.
And I think she just watched it.
He's an American treasure.
Yeah, there you go. He was
All right.
Ducky.
Yes. Hey, you're showing your age. All right. Well, let's get into a couple things here before we get into our topic. Last week we had a tweet by Carnivore Aurelius. We got another controversial tweet of the week from him because I see stuff
How
from
do you
him.
even pick one?
It makes me just laugh. His stuff makes me laugh. But before we get into that, I want to show you a couple memes here that I saw. And this is kind of telling. It's for those that are listening, it's got 2 windows kind of like at the DMV, and one says pills and surgery and the other window says lifestyle change. And guess which one has a giant line in front of it? Pills and surgery.
Just give me the pill.
People would much rather go down that medical route rather than making any type of preventative change or lifestyle change. So I thought this meme was kind of
But it's
apropos.
not always their fault.
Not always.
They're lied to
Oh yeah,
by the
completely.
farm. Big pharma tells them you need this pill. And then there's some pills they do need.
Right.
There's pills that people need, and it's not lifestyle or diet or nutrition or fitness related. They just need it. And then Big Pharma does such a phenomenal job of blurring those lines.
Oh, and just marketing.
Yeah, it's just you need all of these.
Oh, marketing.
Yep.
The marketing is crazy. Like, as far as you get older too, you notice just because that stuff starts to apply to you more.
Right.
Does your dick work? Is your cholesterol high? You know, all these like commercials. Like if you watch football, it's all like ED drugs. You know, it's all towards old guy messaging.
Sure.
You
And
know,
then an ED drug and then a
the
beer commercial.
statins. Yeah, the statins, the beer. Yeah, it's the marketing is off the hook. So that was kind of a good meme. And then I saw this other one here that says, and I'll just read. It's just an index card that says, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness.
That's funny you say that because when I was running the other day, I was thinking, and I thought, because I did it during the day, oh no. And I thought, if I had a metabolic disease and it required doctoring, as the old folks like to call it,
Right.
what would I do at work? I'd go to my boss. If I had a boss, I'd go to my boss and I'd say, hey, boss, got a doctor's appointment this afternoon. All right, don't forget to cough.
They'd let
Look
you
right
leave.
and cough. Have fun.
Yeah, they let you leave no problem.
Yep. But what if
Gladly
I
give you time off.
Yeah, but what if I wanted to go, hey, boss, I want to go not have to go to the doctor.
Right.
Screw you. Get back to work.
Yeah, they'd be like that. You don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't take time for yourself for preventative lifestyle.
That's a
but
good point.
the reactive lifestyle, then take all the time you need.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hope everything turns out okay. If only there was a way you could have avoided that.
If only. Yeah, that's just the whole, what's that old quote? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Right.
Yeah.
Or my other favorite one is take time to you have to take time to take care of yourself, because when you die, your obituary will be posted after your job opening.
Wait a minute. Oh, yes.
So
Right,
yeah,
right.
if I died tomorrow, my
Right.
job will be on Indeed
Right.
before my obit ever hits the paper.
Yeah. Oh, yep, exactly.
So
Profound stuff. So really, we're just trying to, highlight to everyone the big reasons for why we're doing this, why we care about health, nutrition, fitness. It's to avoid have to do the forced doctoring, as
Right.
the old folks say.
yeah, I told somebody at a former place of employment, it's like, I don't know how you find all that time to exercise. And I said, I make it. What do you mean you make it? I said, I make time.
Right.
I cut off work to make time for wellness.
Right.
Well, that's not going to work here. I said, and neither will I. Sorry. There's jobs all over the place.
Yep.
Screw off.
Well, the whole debate about the work-life balance thing, right?
Yeah. It's just a catchy slogan to recruit people.
Yep.
They don't mean it.
Exactly. Well, the market will determine how much they have to give you, in order to recruit people, and they're going to give you the minimum
Right.
that it takes to get qualified people in. And
Right.
if that requires, having to do some crazy stuff and let you do your thing, or once you're in there, they value you as an employee, then they might let you get out there and do your wacky running during the day.
Right.
Because Dewey's a good producer.
Yeah. That's all it should be.
Yep.
Not to go down the whole libertarian meritocracy path, but
Yep.
are you getting your shit done or not?
Exactly.
Stop worrying about when I do my job. Start worrying about if I do my job and how well I do it.
Right. And if you're going to be healthy enough so you're not taking time off from
Right.
doctoring, forced
Yeah.
doctoring.
Right.
Well, and think about how does that, I don't know how it works like on the insurance side, but think about as an employer, if you're providing, healthcare coverage for people.
Well, if you use it too much, they bounce you.
Well, right. If you have people would you rather have people running and working out and eating healthy
And not using that
and
insurance.
not ever going to the doctor except for their yearly physical, or would you rather have people constantly getting prescriptions and constantly being high utilizers?
Right.
I mean, it's going to save them money in the long run.
My current employer, who shall remain nameless,
McDonald's.
fuck, told you not to tell anybody. God.
As he hands the bag to everyone, don't eat this shit.
Yep.
This is horrible for you.
Yep. That's when the manager said, that's not going to work here. No, but thanks. I had lost my train of thought.
Your current employer.
Current employer. Our medical insurance company dropped us because we used it too much.
Oh, damn. You know, here's a
So don't tell me that, well, that's what insurance is for. No, it's not. Insurance is literally should be called just in case.
right. Well, plus, what do you think insurance companies are in the business of? Making a profit.
Collecting premiums and not having to pay out.
That's all they give a shit about. If anyone's ever tried to utilize insurance, you're going to find out real quick that they'll hassle you, you know, left and right to get your premiums. The minute you're late, they're hassling you. But if you're trying to make a claim, you know, all of a sudden they're like, new phone, who dis?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we don't have time. We're swamped.
Yeah. Or they'll just find them. I think their first reaction is just deny.
For sure it is.
Deny, deny, deny. And the Bill Clinton approach, as I call it, deny, deny, deny.
Right.
And then if they get forced or taken to court, then maybe they'll comply and actually get loose with the purse strings.
Or like I got a medical bill in the mail, and Mel goes, aren't you going to open that? I'm like, no, this is the first one. I don't even read them until it's the third one. And guess what? Every time they're different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this one went down 10%.
Yeah.
Nope. I need at least 2 or 3 before I even open it.
Yeah.
Because the insurance, I guess the insurance did want to cover this part. Mm-hmm. What if I would have just paid the first one?
Right. Would you get a check back?
No.
Yeah, they're in the business of making a profit just like every other company. So if you understand that motivation, it gives you a little bit of perspective when you're considering your interactions with them. All right, well, so let's get into it. One more thing here. We're going to define we like to talk about different terms and define what's going on. And I wanted to talk about protein. This is kind of timely for me because I've been adjusting my macros, and we defined macros in a previous episode.
How are you adjusting them?
My ratio of how much fat of the total intake of calories I'm taking in a day, how much of that is fat and how much is protein. I've been playing with that amount.
Oh, okay.
I was much higher fat, and I've been reducing that and leaning more towards protein. That's been working well for me. So I want to talk about.
So you're going that PE.
Sort of, except for kind of but the one thing, and you're talking about Ted Naiman, the PE, the protein and energy, and what his whole claim is: emphasize the protein
and pick your energy,
and then pick your energy, whether it's fat or carbs. Which I don't.
That's my motto.
It doesn't compute for me though, because I can't eat like a steak and then just a potato with nothing on it. You know what I mean? Because
you have to.
You're not supposed to, right? But I can't.
You got to pick one.
Grody, dude.
It's yeah.
But fat is to me, fat tastes great and satiating. So I'm always going to go protein and fat. Carbs for me, there's only bad things associated with them. They awaken the beast. The cravings beast, inflammation, all kinds of stuff happens with me. And I'm not running marathons. I don't need that quick energy that, to replenish the glycogen stores or whatever.
Yep. I switched recently from fat to carbs for training purposes.
So you mean
I'm fucking hungry all the time.
Right. Exactly.
People who don't believe this, they're full of shit. Because I'm on the exact same caloric intake.
But
and I just
different ratio.
I just want to eat.
I know. See, and that to me, that's suffering. I don't want to be hungry.
Right.
So protein and fat are very satiating to me. So
is fiber.
So I'm right, but again, I have no need for that.
You're not going to eat.
Don't see the benefits of it.
Sit down to a bowl of black beans with nothing on it.
No, exactly. So, anyways, leaning on protein, and one thing that comes up in this discussion is how much protein do you need, right? So.
As much as you need to stay jacked.
Right. And as I found this website that talks about bodybuilding.com, baby. Because these are the guys that know this shit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've known this. If you watch that Pumping Iron movie with Arnold.
Healthy or not, they know how to cut.
They
know how to not have fat.
And they knew eating carbs, the standard American diet carbs were bad back in the 70s. I mean, Arnold's sitting there, they're giving each other shit. They're like, don't eat the pat, only eat the patty, don't eat the bun.
Right.
They give each other shit about that. So they knew to emphasize protein. But then they're like pounding gummy bears and weird shit just to fuel their workouts or whatever.
Yep.
So anyways, there's this protein intake calculator here. So it gives you your, your age, your gender, height, your current weight, and then what your goal is. And I kind of played.
You can pound gummy bears when you're taking Dynaball with a caulking gun.
I don't know what that sentence was. What's Dynaball? Is that
It's an anabolic steroid.
Okay. So basically, I think the main rule of thumb is about a gram per pound of body weight. So, if my current weight is
Very standard.
Yeah, 175. So I want to get 175 grams of protein.
And you won't.
And
it's so hard.
That's tough.
It's hard.
Right.
That's a lot of protein.
Yeah. So then I found a little description here of how to get that amount. So in your average piece of steak, it says you get 70 to 78 grams of protein from 9 ounces of steak. So if I needed to get 170, that's about 20 ounces of steak.
You'd need 700 calories of just protein.
Right. And that's 20 ounces of steak. That's over a pound of steak.
That's a big chunk of meat.
That's a big steak. And if I'm only eating one meal a day and, protein is very satiating, which is the good thing because you can't overeat, but it's hard to get to that protein target also. So, that's why you have to know your numbers so you can, because if you're trying to build muscle and you're consistently way under this, it's going to be real tough to do. And if you can only fit so much food in your body too, you have to cut out other things too.
Yeah.
So
you just absolutely fell ass backwards into why bodybuilders eat 8 small meals a day. Because they can't get all that protein in one meal.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and they're just and like especially if you watch those strong men too, their job is to eat
8 large meals.
Their job is to eat. I mean,
20,000 calories.
If they don't get those calories in, the muscles will not be there, and they won't have the strength.
Right. But they're fat too.
Yeah, exactly. They're not bodybuilders. Obviously, they're not lean.
Except Eddie Hall.
Because their only goal is, can I lift the heaviest shit?
Yeah. Eddie Hall.
I don't care how I look. Is he ripped now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he looks fat ripped. He's still got that big, huge, hard belly, but it looks like someone drew abs on him.
He's fat ripped. So it's 70 to 78 grams and 9 ounces of steak. That's a lot of steak to eat in one day. Even for me, not a very big guy, to get 20 ounces of steak in every day. That's all I could eat. I wouldn't be able to eat anything else.
No, because you just reached your calorie intake requirement, or maximum, as it were.
Right.
And you are still short.
Yeah.
To meet your calorie, whatever you establish as your target.
Yep.
And get 1 gram per body pound per weight or whatever.
Yep.
It's hard.
That's hard to do.
I just did the math for you. It's 700 calories.
Yeah.
Of just protein.
Right.
Well, how many? That's a lot of meat.
I would have to do more than one meal. I couldn't do the OMAD.
No.
Yeah, you'd have to split it up just to give your body in your stomach a rest.
Just some room.
Yep.
Just push some of that aside.
So I'll put this calculator in the show notes so anybody can jump on here and see what depending on your goals, what your target for protein intake per day would be. So let's get back into Carnivore Aurelius here. Yeah, and this kind of harkens back to our discussion last week on cholesterol. He has I'll read this tweet here. It says, lipids extracted from the brain of Alzheimer's patients have 30% less cholesterol than normal. Tell this to your doctor next time he wants you to lower your cholesterol. Boom, bitch. That's telling, isn't it?
Well, let's read the guy's response. Right below it.
Oh, Kevin Bass? Oh.
Yeah. I know Kevin, so I know what this is going to say before I even read
blood cholesterol lowered by medicines is in a separate pool from brain cholesterol. Lowering blood cholesterol does not affect brain cholesterol. Statins do not impair cognition in well-controlled studies and may prevent dementia by improving the health of brain blood vessels.
I know.
But then how do you explain
the other side is heard from?
Right. And obviously, I want to hear all sides, but then how does that explain the massive uptick in Alzheimer's since statins were introduced? Explain that, Kevin Bass, MS.
Did you scroll down and see the social justice warrior? Same answer.
Oh, SJW. Huh. Yeah, interesting.
So, got to read everything.
Got to read. But anyways, this Carnivore Aurelius, a great follow on Twitter, just trolling everybody.
Yeah, he's pretty good. You know what?
He's a provoker.
And there's a really good chance that he knew what Kevin Bass said, but he tweeted it anyway.
Oh, he doesn't care.
No.
He wants the combat.
Yep.
That's why he's there, because that conflict breeds attention, and he knows that.
Yep.
But he's a funny follow, so check out Carnivore Aurelius on Twitter. All right, well, let's get into our topic for the week.
I don't know if it's the topic or what, but I'm off. I can't stop yawning. I usually can't stop yawning, but
Well, it was daylight savings time, right?
yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get back tomorrow.
And because I actually have a job, I had to get. I had to be there. I had to be there at a certain time. So guess what? When my alarm went off at 6 a.m., it felt like 5 a.m. and that sucked. It did suck.
Just for Sunday.
You know
Then
what?
by Monday morning, you're all caught up.
My coworker didn't even come in Monday.
Come on.
He emailed at like 6:30 a.m. and said, "I tried to sleep last night, couldn't do it. I got to take the day off."
Come on.
That's how jacked up daylight savings time. That's what it did to him.
Wow. So I'd like to see the study of lost productive hours
Oh, dude.
across the country.
I don't even know what daylight savings time. What the hell good is it anymore?
Just give
I
you more
understand
daylight.
it was to help farmers out or something, but I mean everybody's got artificial light sources now. What do you don't? It's just dumb. And there's some.
Why
states
did
that don't
North
even
Dakota have a blue light or blue law until last year?
Yeah. Yeah, let's not get into that. The blue hair law.
Right.
Call it that.
People
For those-
you should be at church, not at Best Buy. You should mind your own goddamn business.
Yes. Not Best Buy. It's funny if that's what they were thinking of when they wrote the law. Damn Best Buy. We got to
Yep.
stop people from going there until
in there.
noon.
Their CDs and pogo sticks.
Cassette tapes. All right, so sleep. Does it matter? Why does it matter? Okay, we're going to go into...
I will dare to say, I'll add on to your little questions there and say, is it the single most important thing
Ooh,
out of all of this shit we talk about?
throwing it out there.
Is sleep the single most important thing?
So you're saying a guy that eats Pizza Hut all day, doesn't work out, but gets good sleep, he's the healthiest of the bunch?
Nope. But I'm saying the guy who eats really well, works out incessantly, but doesn't sleep for shit.
He's fucking himself.
It is. He's spinning his wheels.
Okay.
Recovery and repair is half of it.
Exactly. That's what we're going to get into here. So why is sleep important? And I'll put all these links to these articles that I'm referencing here. What happens during sleep? And this is kind of interesting because as a young man, when I was, are you yawning?
It must be just the word.
Are you
Every time you say sleep, I yawn.
are you yawning just for effect?
No.
Just-
It's that chick sleeping in that picture. I just want to lay it on.
as a younger man, you almost kind of like wear it as a badge of honor. Oh, I stayed up till 4, got up at 6. Fuck it, dude. You're like it's almost like you're proud of how little sleep you're running on, right?
Yeah. Stop wearing. Somebody tweeted out the other day, stop wearing that as a badge of honor.
Well,
You're killing yourself.
I think they were talking about the grinding, like the whole overwork. I'm grinding every day, dude.
Work 20 hours a day, sleep 4.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, and that's glorified
Yeah, not anymore.
when it shouldn't be.
I think that's losing. We used to work with I always had the old guy at work that come in stumbling in at 8:15. I've already been here for 3 hours. Yeah, you know what, Bill? You haven't done a goddamn thing except make coffee and pace around, paying attention to when everybody gets here.
Right. Yeah.
I'll do more by 9 than you have done since you've been up since 4.
Yep. If only it was a meritocracy, right?
Yeah, don't get me
Yep.
started.
Speaking of that, that's a generational thing. Because when I had another job and there was a boomer who was my boss,
Oh, yeah.
no offense to the boomers out there.
Every day was a get up early contest.
Every day she would look out the window at 8 and go, okay, who's here? What cars are here? Who's rolling in 801?
Get a life.
And, she was probably, I don't know, 65 at the time.
You didn't need to tell me that. I knew that.
Right. But that was how she was wired and raised.
Oh, for sure. It's not her fault.
That's what mattered.
It's not her fault.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you just get there and do nothing all day. It's just you better be on time.
Right. Yep. And if you are that person that shows up at 7:40 and work starts at 8 and don't do a damn thing all day,
You're still a golden
you're
child.
getting promoted.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Bob. Be more like Bob.
Which is smart because if you know your boss, you know how to what they want to see.
Right.
And then you're just a smart person who knows how to work politically in the game.
I'm stupid then because I wouldn't do that. I'd be like, I run circles around Bob all day.
Show up at 8:06 every day just to piss her off.
I run circles around Bob, and I'm here a quarter of the time he is.
Right. All right. So, what happens when you're sleeping? What's good about it? Main thing
I don't know.
is your body's repairing itself, right? That's the main thing. Okay, I'll just read this. As you pass through the various stages of sleep, your body cognitively and physically restores itself. For example, cells synthesize protein, tissues repair themselves, and growth hormones are released while you are sleeping. That's huge for a person that's working out, trying to build muscle.
It's everything.
It's everything. Because
But
what are you
guess what
doing when you're, let me finish this quick.
Okay.
When I'm getting my pom-pom, right? And you're sore,
Yeah, you're
and your
ripping
muscles
muscle.
are just,
They're ripping. They're literally ripping.
they're literally tearing because the tiny muscle tears is what you want to have happen.
Create hypertrophy.
And hypertrophy, that's a term we need to define, which is muscle growth. That's
Yeah.
what that means. To stimulate muscle growth. What happens during sleep, that's the other side of that. The muscles are being built back. And they're adjusting to that stimulus that you gave them. And if you short circuit that by not getting enough sleep, you're screwing up the whole, you're not getting optimal amount of gains that you want to get.
And here's the curveball is that sentence. For example, cells synthesize protein, tissues repair themselves, and growth hormones are released while you are sleeping. What could hinder that while you're sleeping?
I don't know.
The metabolic process.
Oh, yes.
So don't go to bed with a full stomach.
Right.
Because if your body has to take away that energy and resources to metabolize your stomach full of pork chops, it's not recovering.
Speaking of that, funny story. When we were back in the band days and we'd be in hotel rooms, we used to travel with one of those plug-in pan things.
A hot plate?
Well, almost like a skillet, but had edges,
Yep.
And we would literally make an entire thing of hamburger helper. We would literally
eat hamburger. It does just fine by itself.
me and one other dude eat the whole thing, put our plates down, our fork down, and then lay down and go, well, see you tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, 30 seconds after we're done eating. We used to wonder why we had acid reflux
Right.
and throat problems and couldn't sing the next day and stuff. We're literally eating and going to sleep 30 seconds later. I mean, it was ridiculous. And just the worst freaking food you can imagine.
Oh, right.
Pasta, just a shit ton of carbs and processed junk.
And fat.
Oh, man. So you want your body to concentrate on the things that it's supposed to be doing while you're sleeping, making repairs, releasing the growth hormone, like it said. It also talks about some cognitive things here. Sleep may also help your brain reorganize and retain memories. While you're awake, your brain is receiving lots of information and images. You might be even trying to learn new things. While you're asleep, your brain may replay and organize the events, memories, and information from the day. Wow. So, are you getting the picture here? This shit's important.
Right. But it's not sexy.
Not sexy.
That's not cool to talk about.
No, it's not talking about, I'm going to get my full 8 hours. I know you have your sheet there. What other benefits do you have besides just,
Well, mine are more metabolic.
Right.
So I beat to death the release of cortisol, the fight or flight stress hormone.
The stress hormone, yep.
Yeah. So when you're releasing a hormone that triggers your body to fight or flight, you're going to eat. You're going to seek comfort.
Oh yeah, because what do people do when they're stressed out? It's
They
people
search-
literally stress eat, right? That's a
But,
thing.
and what does that do?
Yeah,
It
makes it worse.
It releases dopamine,
Right,
which is going to compound or counteract with the cortisol.
right.
So
Gets you in this vicious cycle.
it does, and it creates when people are like, "Well, are you hungry or are you just tired?"
Right.
Well, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Just like, are you hungry or are you stressed out? Well, you're both.
Yeah. You're cumulative.
It is, and your body's seeking that dopamine release, and it's going to find it through things that make it happy. That could be food, booze, drugs, sex, anything that's going to what are all those things? Super addictive.
Sex donuts. New product at Shark Tank idea.
I don't think there's a clinic for that, but maybe I don't know.
I'm a trailblazer. Here's another one. It says some of the most serious potential problems associated with chronic sleep deprivation are high blood pressure, diabetes, heart attack, heart failure, or stroke. Other potential problems include obesity, depression, impairment in immunity, and lower sex drive. That sound like fun?
Right. Well, there's
That's like a list of the shit you do not want to get.
right, right.
Horrible. And if you knew it was preventable, again, like we talked about earlier,
They had
prevention versus reactive fixing later on. If you knew this was preventable, you'd make it more of a priority.
part of this other study that I had from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition said that people that were sleep deprived exhibited the same poor decision making as people who are drunk.
Yes, I had that written down too. Yeah, like it's probably equivalent, and obviously there's degrees of this, but I think they've done driving tests,
Right.
where you suck on the driving test or the drunk field sobriety test as much as if you're hammered.
Right.
Yeah. So, and believe me, I've driven home from gigs back when I was on the road, many times late at night, been super tired as hell. I never drank. I don't drink, but it was probably just as dangerous.
You're like, oh, I'm going to get pulled over.
Well, right. And
Yeah. There's
reminds
no
me of
way
a-
they're not going to believe I wasn't drinking.
actually reminds me of a story. A different band guy was telling me that he was going down the road and he was in the passenger seat and his drummer had a little touch of narcolepsy, as he put it.
Oh,
So
that's enough to where
they were going
I'd
down the
be
road
driving.
and he heard the rumble strips and he woke up and he was like, holy shit. And he saw the guy just totally zonked out
Oh, no.
behind the wheel. So he just reached over and went, I think I'll grab the wheel now. Probably not the best choice. I think he was the only one that was sober though. So it's like, well, let the narcoleptic guy drive. That's better than the drunk guys.
Is it?
Was it though?
Right.
Holy crap. Yeah,
So-
but that's dangerous. Dangerous as hell to drive or just think about if you're at your job and if you have any job, you don't want to do it worse. So if you have any job where you use your brain, do you want to be, making errors all day and just not being sharp?
Right.
We always talk about in the low carb community, one of the benefits is this mental clarity. Well, you're just handicapping that by being low on sleep
Right.
if you're not sharp. Another thing, okay, you look like shit.
Got bags on here.
You look like shit.
We don't get makeup to cover those up.
Right.
Oh, we could, I guess.
Well, I've been trying to start. I just
Well,
couldn't.
you're a band guy.
I missed the eyeliner
I've seen
phase.
Poison.
I missed that phase, luckily. But yeah, you look like shit. And here I'll read a little paragraph about that. It says, chronic sleep deprivation can even affect your appearance. Over time, it can lead to premature wrinkling and dark circles under the eyes. There's also a link between lack of sleep and an increase in the stress hormone.
Cortisol.
Yep, cortisol in the body. Cortisol can break down collagen, the protein that keeps skin smooth. Again, sounds like some pretty fun stuff to get, right?
Yeah, you'd want smooth skin, I assume.
Right. I mean, between the diabetes, blood pressure, heart attack, heart failure, stroke, lower sex drive, obesity, depression, your skin looking like shit, wrinkles, dark circles. I mean, I think sleep is making its way to, pretty high in the priority list
But
here.
remember, Bobby got to tell everybody how early he got to work.
Right. My uncle, not to throw him under the bus.
He's not listening.
Back in the 70s when he used to party, he said after they were done, they would just drive the work van to the job site.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Still shit faced.
that way, when the boss was like, where the hell's he would go just pound on the door.
Right.
I'm here.
Yep. I was here so early and nobody was here. I just took a nap.
I'm guessing he wasn't getting his 8 hours.
Right.
So, as you can see, there's a crap ton of benefits and a even more horrible list of downsides to not getting enough sleep. Did I miss any big ones? Other than basically, it should just say death.
Right.
I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah. Not sleeping is slowly dying.
The immune system regenerating and getting stronger is a huge one too.
Absolutely.
The people that don't get enough sleep are more susceptible to everything. I mean, from colds all the way up to COVID to God knows what else. Anything that your immune system would normally fight off, you're weakening your immune system by not getting enough sleep.
Right.
So again, why wouldn't you want to take the preventative measures and do what you could to have the strongest immune system possible? So let's talk about how much the average person should get. So what's your thoughts on that? I mean, you always hear 8 hours, right?
I think it's unique. I think it's individualistic. I think it depends on you. There are people who can recover and perform all those biological functions where their body's repairing and recovering and recharging on less sleep.
Right.
So I don't think there's a target number. Yours is whatever yours is.
I wonder how you know. I mean, I've always heard, and we're looking at a website here. Older adults, 65 plus, 7 to 8 hours. Adults, 26 to 64, 7 to 9. Younger adults, 7 to 9. So, I mean, it's all in that basically 8 hour average. Unless you're a kid, then it's 9 to 11, 10 to 13, 11 to 14 as you get younger. And that really speaks to the power of sleep too, as if you're a newborn, you're sleeping 14 to 17. It must be super regenerative and
Right.
and building, generating the building
That's
blocks.
all you're doing
Yeah.
at that point
Because
in
it's
life.
so powerful for the growing body.
Right. I don't have a lot to say with this, the first part of sleep. I think this is all, and maybe it's just me being too assuming,
Right.
but I think that this is pretty common knowledge.
Yeah.
I think when we went through all of the things that happen, I don't think anyone listening is going to go, oh, shit, I'm going to go to bed early tonight. I didn't know that. I think everyone knows that,
Yeah.
but they're not getting sleep.
It's just a matter it's a matter of degree.
And that's what I'm more interested in. Like, how do we get more sleep? I know I need it.
Right.
I know I'm not supposed to eat 5,000 calories, but how do I stop? How do I know I'm supposed to sleep 8 to 9 hours a night. How do I get that? Because I'm not getting it. So obviously, and we got that on the agenda.
Yep.
So that's what really got me to buy the book, Why We Sleep.
Okay.
And the first part of the book talks about what we're talking about right now with the biological part of it. But what I'm more interested in, like I just said, is what's keeping us from sleeping. So one thing I found during my research that
Here's the book, by the way. Why We Sleep: Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams.
it's a great book.
Matthew Walker, PhD.
And if you search Matthew Walker, PhD, in Google and just type the word podcast behind it, he's been on every one but ours, I think.
Cool.
That part's not cool.
We'll get him.
Keeps ignoring my emails. Just kidding.
I tried calling him, but he was asleep.
Oh, I see what you did there. I wish you didn't, but I saw what you did there. Dad jokes.
Exactly.
But anyways, I stumbled upon something that was super, super, super interesting. And
I'll be the judge of that.
okay, but I'm not a somnologist.
Is that what it is
Yes,
called?
that's a doctor that specializes in sleep.
Somnologist. That's good.
Yeah. It makes sense though. Somnia,
Yeah,
insomnia.
right?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that in a million
No,
years.
no,
That was the term for it.
I had to look it up. But anyways, what I found super
I know what a
interesting
coxman is, but
oh boy.
somnologist. Go on, please.
No. That's not my point. My point was caffeine.
Oh, you bastard.
So-
I'm
Yeah,
literally
is
drinking a
over there
Diet Mountain Dew right now.
sucking down a Diet Mountain Dew.
You said that just to, I feel attacked.
And I'm not trying to make this sound overly dramatic. I'm just figuring out how to phrase it. But it was quite eye-opening to me. And I'm still just a few feet or miles down this rabbit hole that I have to continue down. And I'm going to continue down it. But there's so much bullshit that surrounds caffeine and your sleep hygiene. Like, did you know that coffee or caffeine, if you drink too much, it actually makes you tired? And did you know that although it's a stimulant, caffeine doesn't make you energetic. It just suppresses the stuff that makes you awake. So, yeah.
Say what now? That just makes me say,
Can you repeat the part of this stuff where you said all about the things?
I didn't get that.
Yeah, no, it again, like I said, it was pretty
So,
mind-blowing
To
me.
sum it up for the dumb guy in the room, don't drink as much caffeine. Caffeine bad? Is that what he's basically saying?
Yeah, and there's a 12-hour rule that I'm trying to go by now.
So before you go to sleep,
12 hours before bed, don't have any caffeine.
geez, so if you go to bed at 10 p.m., that means stop the
10
caffeine
a.m.
at 10 a.m.
Yep,
Holy shit.
right? But then,
That's hard for a lot of people, man.
but did you ever notice? And it's like my head just exploded when the doctor says, "Did you ever notice how when you drink? Because I'm bad.
What's your caffeine of choice? Just straight up coffee?
Coffee, pot before I even leave the house.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm over the top. But I was so tired at night, and I didn't dawn on me that it was the excess caffeine still in my system making me tired. Because I'm like,
hours ago.
I don't understand how I can have a ton of caffeine, but I stop up before noon.
Yep.
No matter how much I have, I don't have a drop after noon.
And you were still tired as hell.
Tired, and all of a sudden at like 6:30 p.m., I'm like, I look at Mel and I'm like, I could go to bed already. And it's like the freaking
Well, there's got to be like,
David Muir just stopped the freaking news. I mean, it just got over, and I'm like,
there's got to be a crash, like a roller coaster thing too. It's almost like,
No, but there's not.
It's not?
No, because here's proof.
so it's not the caffeine wearing off.
No, because here's the proof of that, and I like where you're going with it, and I'm going to explain it right now. I'd be like, I could go to bed right now, and you know what? I'm going to in about an hour. About 8:30, I'm actually going to go to bed, and then I'd go to bed, and what would happen? Stare at the ceiling.
Oh, shit.
I would just sit there. I can't sleep.
Nothing worse than
Why
that.
can't I sleep? Toss and turn, flopping around, flipping the covers all over, and get up. Go watch TV or just get up
Because that caffeine was having a residual effect?
right.
Yikes.
So I think I'm willing to go out on a limb that anyone that has super, super poor sleep habits and poor sleep hygiene, as the doctors call it, I bet you could trace it back to caffeine.
They probably have. Well, show me a working adult that doesn't consume caffeine. I mean, it's a tiny percentage.
Right. But even if that person has a Diet Coke at Applebee's at 7:30
Oh, yeah.
before they go home,
Same thing.
it's full of caffeine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, so is the advice in the book, break yourself of that?
This wasn't in the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
no,
where were you?
The research I found.
Is the overall, in a perfect world, you just wouldn't use caffeine.
Yeah.
That's ideal.
Yeah. Or if you can't not use caffeine, like that's not an option, than the 12-hour rule.
Okay. And plus, don't overdo it. Like, don't drink the whole 2 pots before
Right.
10 a.m.
Right.
because that is going to affect you later on, like as you found out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. So another thing that I'm doing, and I know you have some tips on
on how
sleep
to
hygiene.
Yeah, just physically how to actually achieve it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I want to do, but Mel's pushing back, is, but I'll win.
Is Mel your?
I think everyone knows that by now.
It's his wife. Everyone, it's his wife.
It's the one that everybody likes in the relationship.
Right.
No, but I want to get a Keurig again. I think that would curb it.
Oh,
If
it's
I
because
could-
1 cup at a time.
Yeah, if I could
Right.
wake up in the morning and just throw that little pouch or whatever the thing is, that little
Yep.
cup, and then it makes the cup and drink
Yeah.
it, and then maybe go jump in the shower,
Don't
get
think
ready.
you'd make another one though.
Well, I'd make 2, but I wouldn't drink 12,
Right. So just think of ways to limit it.
and I don't measure.
Right.
So my coffee in the morning, here's my ritual. I make the coffee, let the dogs out. I go over there, automatic ice cube dispenser. I put in 2 cubes, and I pour my cup, stir it, and I drink it until it's about halfway, quarter way down, and then I go refresh it.
And then rinse and repeat.
And I never go, well, that's gone.
Right.
I'm going to have 1 more. I just keep refilling it until the coffee pot is,
Yeah, the coffee pot's empty.
yeah. And I'm like,
dry as
coffee
the
pot
Sahara.
empty. I should go to work. They have more there. So I go to work and they have coffee.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, it's addictive. I mean, just like a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, a lot of the carbs and sugar and processed whatever, caffeine is super addictive. And I've tried it various times because I don't drink a ton of coffee. I mean, I only like iced coffee. I don't like, the straight up black kind of stuff. So,
right.
more of a foo kind of coffee drinker, but in the form of diet pops and whatever. So I've, tried to break myself of that before. I mean, it's massive withdrawal symptoms, headaches. You feel like you just want to die. You're almost like depressed.
That's why it's easier to do it on the weekend
And
because you can stay in bed.
have you ever like straight up, like
Oh yeah, cold turkey.
you just cold turkey,
Yep.
not even taper?
Nope. I went from
Ooh, that's
a
tough.
ton. It wasn't that bad.
Really?
Because I did it on a weekend and I exercise a lot.
Yeah.
That helps a ton. And then you just flush the shit out of your system with water.
Wow.
It doesn't stay in long.
Right.
10, 12 hours tops.
But the cravings for me was
After
bad.
that, it's mental.
Mental. That's
Yep.
It's as much mental as it was.
And
anything
that's
for me.
how I quit chewing.
Oh.
Because I chewed since I was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
And about 7 or 8 years I quit. And when I Googled that nicotine is out of your system in like 72 hours.
Oh, okay.
So I knew after 3 days it was all mental.
It was just
I was
me
just being a
wanting it.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A chew baby.
You're just a wimp.
You're
Stop
just a-
being such a pansy and just
Don't be a chew baby.
just be done.
All right, so let's talk about how to get to sleep. You need to set up your environment. You need to have your room set up in such a way that is conducive to sleeping. Is there lights beaming in there? Cars driving by, street lights, whatever.
Dogs jumping on your head.
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
bastards.
Right. Yeah, a cat rubbing its butt on your face. That's what they do.
No, and no more animals in the bedroom.
Oh,
That was a
really?
huge, huge problem.
Oh, really?
Yep.
See, our dog sleeps between us, but she's more zonked than anybody. So,
The whole time?
oh yeah,
The whole night?
the whole night.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
afford
she would
that
sleep.
luxury.
She gets the recommended amount of sleep that a newborn gets, like 17 hours.
We don't afford that luxury. Ours are bored, and one doesn't like it. Likes it hot, so he likes to burrow between your legs.
Oh, yeah.
And then he comes back out because he's hot.
Right.
And then he's cold. Then he's hot. Then he's cold.
Indecisive. All right, so you got to set up your room, right? So you got to have darkening shades. Like you said, get the animals out of there if they're a problem. No caffeine close to bedtime. We talked about that. We covered all that. Don't eat close to bedtime. We covered that. Like you said, you don't want your body working on digestion that time when it could be dedicating those resources to repair and improving your immune system and things. Sounds. Let's talk about that. Like, do you Do you like dead silence?
Fan on 3.
Fan. Okay. So you like
Blaring.
because you wanted, and the reason that the white noise or the fan works is because then you don't hear every little creak.
It blocks everything else out.
Yeah. It raises what's called the noise floor to such a high level that everything that doesn't rise above that noise floor level is not heard and not detected as like an intruder or an alien coming to probe your anus.
Which I don't know what goes on at your house, but that's my biggest worry is I'm like, I tell Mel all the time, I mean, it's this goddamn jet engine blaring in our bedroom. If someone broke in,
You wouldn't know.
everything would be gone when we woke up.
Right.
We wouldn't hear a thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. For me, can you do music when you go to bed?
Nope. And I can only do certain podcasts, and it all depends upon the host and the guest and their fluctuation of their voice. Because there's so many guys will be like, yeah, when you're sleeping, you really got to get, and it's like,
Yeah.
and that's it, and then it just wakes
Scare the
me
shit
up.
out of you.
Yep.
For me, I can't do music because as a musician, I'm hyper focused on it.
Oh, so you're just
And I'm like,
start tapping your foot.
or that's how to play this chord, or you're just analyzing it too much.
Sure.
So for me, it's only talking. And back in the day when I was on the road, back in the day,
60s.
like early 90s,
Oh, okay.
it was AM radio, Art Bell,
Oh, Art, that was bomb. Yeah.
coast to coast.
I used to
AM,
listen
baby.
to
Because he would come in everywhere. We'd be in, no matter where we're in the Midwest.
scan.
You could get that KSTP out of St. Paul,
Yep.
or there was a big one out of Omaha. You could get it almost anywhere because this is pre-internet. So there was, whatever you got on your Walkman or whatever was what you got.
Right.
So for me, I can sleep to talking. And to this day, now it's all podcasts, of course, but,
But the voices.
I'll put some Joe Rogan, some Adam Carolla, something
Joe Rogan's too loud.
too loud. He's
Yeah,
too much
he's
of a
too.
yeller.
He yells into the microphone. What's the best is Ryan Holiday and the Daily Stoic.
Oh, okay. I haven't not heard of that one.
It's a great book too.
Nice soothing voices.
Yeah, he's got a real like a NPR voice.
Okay.
Tells the next person to want a tote bag.
Right. Soothing. I like it.
The next guest is Pete Schweddy and his Schweddy balls.
Speaking of things that help, have you heard about the light thing? The color of light, the light temperature. You familiar with that at all?
No, this sounds stupid.
Okay. Well, it's a thing. Like,
Sora,
there's different colors.
Sora cleanses and essential oil.
Well, like, right. The people that are watching this on YouTube, okay, like these lights here, these red ones, those are considered warm lights. Like anything that's red, orange.
So that's why they're falling asleep when they watch our podcast.
Yes.
Told you to use blue ones.
And then the lights above us is considered a cooler light because it's closer towards blue. It's whiter towards blue. Okay.
Sure.
That's why in your house, and I learned this as doing real estate, doing flips and things, you never want to put those bright white daylight balance bulbs in your house.
Oh, the LED ones?
Well, they can be LED, but you have to buy the right
the
color,
warm.
the color temperature. You don't want to buy the daylight. You want to buy the warm, which is like 4,000 or 3,400 color temperature. But 5,000 or 5,500 is daylight. It's too white. It looks like Kmart in your damn house.
See, now that's where me and Mel differ because I love the white, bright
You like the super white bright,
Yep.
like above us?
Yep.
See, I like it for this kind of stuff, but when I'm awake. But for in your house, relaxing. And I like it when I'm working on something, it's like I'm at my workbench or whatever.
It's not all dark and
But if you're in your living room and you're trying to chill, you want to get the warm lights. Like 3,400 is like, boom, that's the perfect color temperature.
sounds like.
And
I
there's
have
a
to go buy
reason
some
for
lights.
that. And they actually sell you're the blue blockers. Remember those infomercials?
The blue light block. I have them in these glasses.
You do, see? So,
Yep.
and that's what screens output. You're staring at your phone all night, staring at your iPad before you go into bed, staring at your phone. It's that light is affecting your brain negatively. And it's kind of interesting how it does it. I don't understand all the science behind it, but I found a website, and I'll post this, of course, in the show notes here, and it's talking about do blue light blocking glasses actually work.
I'm gonna be pissed off if this says no because I spent $70 on this add-on.
Right. Did you get the, what do they call that? Did you get the protective coating on the undercarriage too?
The protective coating actually does work because I'm hard on them and they don't scratch. But you know what? N of 1 right here. I don't have any more headaches since I got them.
Really?
Yep.
So, okay.
But
Testimonial.
part of the N of 1 could be that I'm wearing them all the time and I'm not squinting
True.
because they are eyeglasses. So it could be a combination of both. But I don't look at my phone or watch TV at home without my glasses on now.
Oh, okay.
I won't look at these lights.
Right. Well, here, let's read this what it says here. Digital screens emit blue light, which can have negative consequences on your peepers.
That's
including strained, dry, or watery eyes and irritated eyes. Blue light is also known to sabotage your sleep schedule because it messes with your circadian rhythms. And that's the internal clock that tells you when it's time to sleep or be awake. Circadian rhythms, that's another one.
I want to talk about that. Remind me.
Yeah, and then, okay, so the blue light. Okay, see, your body knows. Let's just get into the circadian rhythms things. Your body knows, hey, time to get up, time to go to bed. You know, it knows these things. And
That's why we slept in caves and we slept on cold floors.
Right, and light.
That's why you turn your heat down at night.
Oh, yeah?
Well, yeah, because we slept on caves, on the cold cave floor, and then when the sun came up, it warmed us up. So instead of turning your thermostat to 70 when you go to bed, turn it to 65, and then 70 when you wake up.
Gotcha. Okay. Right, and one of the signals that your body receives that says, time to wake up now, is the light.
For sure, the sun's up.
Exactly.
Time to get
the
up.
sun's up, time to get up. And the color of, the sunlight is warmer. It's that more, yellow ambery light. It's not the super bright Kmart light that you see. So that's why, in your house, you want to have that right color temperature, that warmer color temperature.
But in that book, Dr. Walker, that Why We Sleep, he crushes that whole theory.
Oh, really?
Because he goes into night owls and morning larks. And there's a whole chapter dedicated to talking about people who are night people are night people.
So that's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It's
That's how you're wired. People are just, well, he's grumpy pants. He must not be a morning person. No, he's literally not a morning person. Those are night people.
How do you know?
And they're specifically wired. I'm a night person.
How do you?
Because I do my best, my thinking, my working, my communicating, everything that I need to do, I'm best at past 9 o'clock
Okay.
p.m.
So it's really self-assessment, but there's no like blood test for, you're a morning owl, or what'd you call it? A night owl or a
morning lark, he calls it, or a night owl or a morning lark.
Right.
But I have a story about that helps confirm that. When I was a service manager for a farm equipment company, I had a technician who just could not get out of bed. And
So when you were looking out the window at 8:01, he wasn't there. You were pissed off.
no, but when the other people who were looking out the window, because I would never look out the fucking window.
Right.
I don't care about that. How much work do you get done when you do get here? Yep. So what I did is they're like, you got to get rid of him. He can't get out of bed.
They wanted to shit can him because he wasn't showing up on time.
Well, it started at not 8, and he'd get there at like 9.
That takes some balls, by the way.
Right.
When you're told
yeah.
to be there at 8 and just
he
rolling
just
at
comes.
9,
Okay, yeah,
because it does signify just disobedience.
Right.
Unless
but
you're told that doesn't
couldn't
matter.
help it.
So he literally just couldn't get out of bed, huh?
Yeah. Wow. But it took me to discover this because I sat him down and I tell me your story. What's going on? There's always a story.
Yeah.
That was his story. I just can't wake up.
Wow.
I said, all right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're so busy in the shop that I'm making this special shift just for Josh. And your shift, Josh, you're going to come in and you're going to start at 9:30. And then you're going to, 8 hours later, that's when you're going to go home. You'd do that? Of course. Let's try it.
If he's a good worker?
He turned into the best technician we have.
Wow. Nice.
Because shift his circadian rhythm.
Right.
He's not a morning person.
You're adjusting.
Stop trying to make people morning people. You're just going to piss them off and you're going to lose.
Right. So the thing is, though, most jobs are geared towards the 8 to 5.
Why?
Whatever. So, well, I'm just saying they are. So what does somebody who's
But
a night
I
owl
challenge
do?
that.
Well, you're one.
But yeah, well, yes and no.
So, I mean, do you just force yourself like through?
I'm not customer facing. I don't need to be there at 8 o'clock.
Right, but are you? I mean, do you just force yourself through pure willpower to get there every day?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
because you're one of the guys that can just overpower
If I
that.
didn't need to use willpower and power through it, I wouldn't need a goddamn alarm clock.
Right. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we sleep till you're done.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we don't. We use alarm clocks.
Well,
we
here's the
don't
other thing.
sleep till we're done.
Okay, but you got to also, one thing you have to consider when you're considering if somebody's a true night owl or not is, are they just staying up playing Xbox till 5 a.m.?
For sure. Sure.
Right. That's the other side of that. I mean, when I used
Right.
to deliver pizza way back in the day,
Yep.
I mean, those dudes, all they talked about was video games and wrestling, right?
Yep.
And guess what they did when they got off work? They just did that.
But why didn't they
forever.
just wake up at 6 a.m. and then do it all day and then quit at?
Because they just don't care. They didn't have a sense of responsibility at all. So they
Yeah,
just,
but why does that have to matter? What if they're in school? What if they don't have a job? What if they're independently wealthy and they don't need to work?
well, then do whatever the hell you want.
Whoa, 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 whoa. But why? If money is no object and you don't need it to survive,
Yeah.
because you have your Bill Gates, just wake up when you're done.
Why would you get a vaccine at 8? Get one at 9?
But why would you just say,
some fake meat at 10?
okay, I didn't mean to go down that Bill Gates hole.
He brought up his damn name.
But seriously, why? He doesn't have to beat a Microsoft to
Right.
work on Windows at 8 o'clock.
Right, but I'm just saying if you're trying to have a job or if you're at a job,
I agree, but why is the job like that? Why does it have to start at 8?
well, because people want their food delivered then or whatever.
Why don't they want it delivered at 10? Why don't they want it delivered
I
at
don't know,
3 in the
man.
morning?
I don't have all the answers. for
Exactly,
you.
because it's bullshit. It's a social construct that's outdated and it doesn't work.
I think the problem is that because all jobs are at 8, then all other jobs have to be at 8 too.
If they're customer facing.
Right.
There's a difference there. If you're customer facing and you work like a retailer, or it's when your customers are working, you have to support them. I get the customer facing structure.
Right.
But let's just say that light or temperature, or there was no extenuating circumstances, and I hired Josh to move this pile of rocks from here over to here.
Right.
And you had 8 hours to do it. In a 24-hour period.
It doesn't matter
When
as
do I
long-
give a shit when you do it?
Well, as long as there isn't a guy waiting for you to have that pile ready so he can do his, you know what I mean?
For
Part of the
sure.
chain or whatever,
For sure.
so.
But there's not. I'm just saying, if your job is to
Hey,
just to
Duey,
move
we're
this.
getting off track.
No,
here.
we're not.
You're going nuts.
No, we're not. We're talking about people who don't get enough sleep because they're slaves to a social construct that's outdated and bullshit.
All right. And my only point was, how do you know if they're truly that or if they just want to do what they want to do? Because I know, like, I don't know what I am, honestly. Like, I feel like I'm more of a night owl because if I was Bill Gates, I would, well, you know.
You wouldn't get up before 9.
It's
why
hard
would
to,
you?
It's hard to say. Well, it depends on when you go to bed. See, that's the thing is,
But you won't. You
if I
ever
went to
notice
bed
how?
at 10, I'd get up at 6 because that's 8 hours.
But you wouldn't. Here's all you. I just figured it out. Here's all you can tell. If somebody wakes up every day at 6 o'clock and just throws their alarm across the room, and they're fighting to get up, fight, and it has to drink 2 pots of coffee,
It's snooze 8 times.
right? And what's the first thing that person does Friday night and then Saturday morning?
Sleeps the fuck in.
Right? Stays up late watching TV, goofing off, going out
Yep. Yeah.
till midnight on Friday night.
Isn't that everybody?
Maybe.
might be.
Maybe it's all washed out. I don't know.
I think we should all work 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. Fuck it. Let's flip this bitch.
I've done that. I've done that.
Oh,
But I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I think there's, you know what? I got off track. We wasted some time here, but I'm just going to close with,
People are never going to get those 10 minutes back.
I'm just going to close, go buy the book.
We'll go buy that book. Yep.
Yep.
I'll put the link in the show notes. But anyways, back to the light. We got off the trail here on the light discussion. So when you're setting up your area, you want to make sure to have nice warm light. When you're preparing to go to bed, you want to have the blue blocking lights or avoid the screens before you're hitting the sack because that's going to screw with their circadian rhythms. And it's basically by shining that blue light into your face, it's telling the body, it's not time yet. It's not time yet.
And the research I've done, what does that mean? The research I've done is TV 1 hour, phone 30 minutes
Before
you
targeted
turn the
bedtime.
light off and go to bed.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense because there's always an adaptation period, a transitional period.
But you know what sleep is for me And then in the evening, and this whole sleep hygiene thing is, I might have shifted my problems with food to sleep because the idea of not eating a lot or eating just healthy and sticking with it doesn't bother me. But you know what? This is going to be
You're always going to have a problem, right?
Right. And this is going to be super melodramatic. And oh, Jesus Christ, just shut up. I know, I get it. But here's the deal. A world with me just going home and cutting my meat and just eating and going to bed and not watching TV an hour before or having the phone. I don't want that life.
Just following. You're back to your old fat Duey.
Right. I want to drink beer and pizza all the time.
So you're saying you just shifted your addiction or your problem to another area.
Yeah, because the sleep hygiene is a struggle for me because I'm like, the idea of going home tonight and having to stare at the wall for an hour.
It's just too much
not watching TV.
Too much damn good behavior. That's a problem.
Right.
Who wants to behave all the damn time?
And I cringe.
Yeah.
I made it like not a week maybe of the whole hour before bed and half an hour
following
phone.
the rules strictly.
Yeah. And I'm like, this is bullshit. This isn't the life I want to live.
So now it gives you some empathy though, because when you're
100%.
telling your clients, don't need that, they're like, well, this is bullshit. And you're like, I get it.
No, it is bullshit, but you came to me and you want to change.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help you change.
And if you were going to a sleep coach,
exactly,
they'd be saying it's bullshit, turn the TV off.
Yep. And that's why I don't have a sleep coach.
Oh, damn.
So
bottom line, staying healthy is tough.
But in fairness, I have done a phenomenal job and just like eating.
Right.
I've done a really good job of cutting out the TV. I can't tell you the last time, I watched TV last night because the Gophers were playing hockey. But before that, can't tell you the last time I watched TV 2 hours before bedtime.
Wow.
Because I listen to podcasts now.
Right. So even if you're not perfect, you're making a lot of good progress.
Right.
So it's kind of like if somebody
replacing it.
Yeah, somebody used to smoke a pack a day, and now they're doing a pack a week. Okay,
right.
Not perfect.
Yep.
But we're going to give you some kudos.
Right.
And say you're moving in the right direction.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was sleep, everybody.
We started off a little slow, but we got a little ramped up.
Yeah. Hopefully, we didn't put you to sleep with our musings here.
I got mad again. That woke him up.
That's all right. This shit's important and hard. I was posting I've been trying to post a lot in these Facebook groups for carnivore and keto stuff because there's a lot of like beginners in there and it just keeps me sharp and like thinking about the topics all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And some guy was like, I want to try this, but I don't know what to do. How do I start? Should I tape? He was kind of talking about basically tapering. And I said, and I used a Deweyism. I just said, adults do hard stuff. Just cold turkey, baby.
Right.
Just get after it.
Yep.
It's like, and he was like,
if I was coaching him, I would have said, yes, wean yourself off of carbs first to avoid the keto flu. But
I didn't. I said, just go balls. Go balls, baby. And, he was, and his post was indicative of overanalysis. I've been doing months and months of research.
Yeah.
Months of research, and I think I'm finally, a lot of that kind of talk. And it's like, dude,
sometimes
you just need to take action.
Sometimes you just have to jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down.
Yeah, you got to take action. Action solves most problems.
Yeah.
So
it's like the analogy I use with clients all the time is a football analogy is the worst thing you can do in a football game in a specific play
stand there.
Is stand there. Right. Just move your feet. Oh, yeah. Coaches used to always say, I don't care if it's the wrong way, but go away.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just a damn target.
Right. Just move. Move your feet.
And you're definitely not getting the ball towards the end zone.
Never.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
It's always the wrong thing to just stand there.
Another one I heard was you can't steer a parked car.
You can with power steering.
How dare you shit on my analogy, my formerly perfect analogy. But yeah, again, it's just saying you got to be moving.
Yeah.
If you're moving forward, you can actually get stuff done, and action solves a lot.
I like that one.
That's a good one. All right, well, that was sleep. So now let's get the old measuring tape out and find out how fat is Josh. Pretty fat.
There it is.
Hey, yeah, baby.
You didn't stomp on your own touchdown call.
Okay, now let me bring up the old tracker.
So you want to go through that? Body fat percentage is We should probably preface that with that you're just going to utilize the in-body scans. And so that's probably only going to be every 30, 60, 90 days.
Yeah, this 21.4 body fat percentage, that was my last hydrostatic dunk and in-body results.
On 3-3.
Yeah, so I'm going to not update that until I do another one of those, and we'll see if that drops. Neck inches stayed the same. Arm inches are the same. Thigh inches are the same. I dropped another pound this week, so I'm officially 20.6 pounds down
Attaboy.
since we started.
It's just a little over 2 months.
Yep, exactly one. Well, this is our 10th episode, so 9 weeks.
10 episodes?
Yep,
Dude,
I know.
we made it.
All right, so let's
They say if you make it 10, that's the hard part.
like marriage.
I don't
if you
know
make it 10 years.
I don't know who they is, but
All right, check the old waist here, baby. This is the one that matters, right?
that's all they say.
I was 41.5 when we started.
I'm going to do it over here just so you can't see it.
In the excess
not
fat
sucking in,
range.
man.
No, I'm just kind of standing.
35 and a half.
Oh, fuck yeah, bitch. Down another half inchy. All right. That is excellent.
You just staved off death.
I just kicked death right in the nutsack.
Death is undefeated. That's what Kevin Hart always says. Death is undefeated, but you don't need to help him.
Exactly. All right, so I'm exactly 6 inches lost in the waist. That's huge. That's the one that
Pun intended.
I'm most proud of. You're right.
Well, it's because it's the most important thing.
Exactly. If you remember, like we talked about last week, well, there's two metrics, two ways of saying it. Either waist circumference, which mine was 41, and anything over 40 was considered horrible.
Right.
And now I'm at 35.5, down 6 inches, so that's huge. And then the other one was the waist to height ratio. And for me being 5'8", which is 68 inches, I should be 34. So I'm creeping up on the good. I'm only an
Right.
inch and a half down from being good. So
And in 2 months.
yeah, in 10 weeks. Yep. Yeah.
Or is it 9?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 weeks.
Yeah, because it wouldn't start until the week after the
So I've
first
lost
episode.
20.6 pounds in 9 weeks.
Yep.
So that's, just over 2 pounds a week. That's a pretty aggressive rate.
It's super aggressive.
But-
and it's, as we see, it's plateaued.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you look at the graph, or not the graph, but the numbers here is way quicker at first. Water weight, and just not eating a crap.
And
ton of-
excess fat.
Yeah.
People when you lose a bunch of weight right away, it's all water. No, it's not. It's fat. It's excess fat. Your body will want to dump that too.
Yeah.
It's when it becomes not as excess is when your body goes, we might want to save on it. We might want to hold on to this for
Yeah,
later.
the instinct of your hormones is to retain that just in case you need it.
Famine's coming.
Famine's coming.
We've been, it's our evolutionary instinct is famine's coming, so we got to be prepared. We've just done a really, really good job preparing as a society.
This has been such an interesting journey, though, because I'm really learning what works for me. And for me, again, with the all or nothing binary switch,
Yep.
every time I creep off into I'm going to try some of this carnivore pudding. I'm going to make the chaffles,
Yep. The fake foods.
When I deviate from and the reason I lost another, pound when I was stalled out for actually 3 weeks ago, I was 175. Then I crept back up to 177, back down to 175, down to 174. The reason I'm down 3 pounds finally 3 weeks later is because I finally was adhering to the just drink, I got rid of the heavy cream and everything. I'm just only drinking 0-calorie stuff
Yep.
and water, mostly water, and eat 1 meal a day of meat.
Okay.
That's it. And when I stick to that, I consistently drop.
Sure.
And I'm retaining my muscle because it's all protein, and that's the building blocks of muscle. Well, protein and fat because it's fatty meats. So it's got that perfect ratio built in. But if I do that and I stick to that, I'm consistently down, and I'm going to try to be very hardcore on that and just keep that steady drop. I think that's the only way I'm going to get the last. Because my target is to get below 34%, 34 inches on the waist and get below 20% on the body fat. So I'm going to keep this up for another, probably month, and then see where I'm at and go get another body scan and see where I'm at.
Sure. So then once you get to 20%, under 20, so let's say you're 17% body fat, then what?
then you'll never see me wearing a shirt again. I don't know. Then I got to figure out, well, do I want to go more? I don't know. I'll have to see how I feel. You know,
and you're going to experience, if you don't figure that out right now and utilize something like a SMART goal or something like that, what you're going to end up running into is you're going to find out that happiness is not at the end of achievement.
right,
So you need to fall in love with the process,
right,
and then set goals, targets, and have them time bound, but not finish lines.
right. And that's interesting too, because in the whole body fat percentage discussion, as I gone down that rabbit hole and watch all these bodybuilders and fitness guys, because I had no knowledge of body fat percentage and what was average, what was achievable, what wasn't. I thought guys with abs were just,
Born that way.
that was like very achievable easily, and it's not.
No.
I mean, if you watch these bodybuilders, they're suffering when they're in competitions, and these fitness physique guys, they're suffering and they're depleted as shit when they're in those
To
competitions.
get to 3 to 4, under 5% body fat is not healthy,
It's not.
nor is it
And
easy.
they don't walk around like that all year. They
No,
they
show.
They target that for the show,
That's
and
the
then
stage.
literally the next week, they might not even have abs again. I mean, they're like just because they don't care. It's not about
Yep.
looking good.
And they're metabolically destroyed.
Exactly. They're weak. They're shaking when they're doing the poses,
Right. Yeah.
They have no strength. So that's not ideal. You might look at one of those guys and go, that's what I want to be. Well, they're not even walking around like that.
I don't think not many people who are casual gym goers want to be that.
No. And but before I was even into this stuff, and I'm not saying I want to be that either. That's just kind of what you saw.
Yeah.
But to even just, look good with your shirt off or look good naked or whatever, you're probably in the, 12 to 15% is probably
I think 10.
10, you think you got to be?
Yep.
Especially as we get older too, love handles and stuff, that persistent.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tougher, man. So, I've been really consistent on working out too. I got my chin up bar in my basement now. So I've been,
The wall mount? Or did you
no,
get
like
the
a
dip
power
one?
tower, they call it.
The
so
dips
it's
on
like a
one
dip.
side
Yeah, I
and-
can do dips and then, chin ups and stuff.
Dude, if
so I've
I
been
had-
doing.
I had answered a question on Facebook the other day. Some fitness dude, whatever. I don't even know who said it. But he said, if you could only do one movement the rest of your life, what would it be? Dude, dips. Hands down.
That's the one, huh?
Oh, it's the most incorporating. Biceps, triceps, shoulders,
cores in
abs.
there,
Yeah, if you do them right with your feet out in front of you instead of
Okay.
behind you. You're in a hollow position, the gymnasts call it. So
Okay.
you're holding with your abs and your hip flexors. Your legs get worked out. I mean, it's all encompassing.
It's
if you
almost
do
like,
it right.
It's almost like you're doing a plank, but then you're also
Exactly. Now, when you think you're cool because you can do 10 dips with your feet crossed behind you, put your
'cause
toes
that's the
together.
easiest way.
Put your toes together in front of you, and the whole ballast.
Oh, yeah.
Everything changes.
Yeah, that whole
If you can do 10,
distribution of weight.
yeah, if you can do 10 leaning forward and your feet crossed behind you, I bet you can do 5 in a
it's
hollow
twice as
position.
hard.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, anyways, I've been doing push-ups, and I'm up to 40 push-ups now every day.
Atta
That's
boy.
my failure. And
Unbroken?
yep.
Nice.
And I can do 7 chin-ups now. It started 6 last week, so I've upped at 1. And that last one is hilarious.
I've always had a lifelong goal. Obviously, I don't pursue it, so I'm never going to get it. But I've always said I want to get 100 push-ups, unbroken.
Ooh, that's tough, man.
I got to 60.
That is tough.
Hundreds. Yeah.
I think it would be a fun video for us to do. Have you ever heard of that? Well, you were in the Marines, right?
Air Force.
Or Air Force. You heard of that Army PT test?
Oh, yeah.
Where you have to do X amount of sit-ups in a minute, X amount of push-ups.
Yeah, that's the
running.
Marine. Oh, no. There's some different ones now.
I think it's the Army physical fitness test, but I think it'd be
That's
hilarious
actually
for me
inspired
and
by
you
CrossFit now.
Was it?
Yep.
I think it'd be hilarious for me and you to do it just to see what we get. Because
Oh, that would make a fun show. It
just
has to be like 70 out, but
have somebody
we should do
videotape
that.
us.
Yeah.
Because that would be probably very hilarious.
I think it'd be very fun.
But I would be a lot better at it now than I would have been, 3 months ago.
You're lighter.
Yes.
You just took
And
off.
stronger too.
We always wear the heavy weighted vests in a lot of the hero CrossFit workouts.
Yep.
for people who don't know what that means, in CrossFit, it's common to do what's called a hero workout where you honor a fallen soldier.
Right.
And in doing that, we wear a 20-pound tactical vest.
And it's kind of like simulating what you'd have in the field.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So those are 20-pound. It's called 511 is the name of the company that makes them.
Right.
But they make a really good one, by the way, even though they're not sponsoring us yet. But anyways, they're 20 pounds. That's what you took off.
Right.
You took one of those off. You were walking around with that vest on.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of rabbit holes and weight and stuff, I watched my 1,000-pound sisters. I know I got sucked in.
Heartbreaking.
We were in a hotel room playing a wedding, and my drummer and I were watching and just flipping through the channels, and I saw it, and I stopped. And it was my 1,000-pound sisters. One of them's like, I think they add up to 1,000. One's like 600 and one's like 4.
Okay.
But the amount of calories you have to take in to maintain that weight every day is ridiculous.
It's a job.
Somebody's got to be shoveling that in all day long. So again, I don't know how it'd be so easy for them to drop weight.
Oh.
Just don't eat as much.
Yep.
And literally pounds will melt off of you. But anyways, one point I was going to make was she was talking about her knees hurting. I was like, no shit. You're
Not a
carrying around
surprise to
600
anyone.
pounds.
Yeah, you're carrying around a piano.
And her knee, her knee joint is exactly the same as a regular 30-year-old woman's,
Right?
but it's like having 3 or 4 people on it. You know, the 3 or 4 times the amount of weight that a normal
I don't know how
person's
strong she is.
Well, yeah, just think her quads underneath all that have to be massive.
So her basal metabolic rate is probably like 4,000 calories.
That's what I'm saying. So she can reduce her calories
By just
just
breathing.
a little, and yeah, exactly. And she just took in a little bit less calories, they would drop weight. I don't know how they maintain that. I mean, that's an Olympic feat just to maintain that weight.
Think how expensive it is.
Yeah, it's crazy though, the amount of mental illness going on there too.
Oh,
it's all in the brain.
all
it's all between
emotional.
the ears.
Somebody did something to them. I don't care what anybody says. I'm serious. Something happened traumatic in their life
Yeah.
that would lead to that, and
Yeah,
it's fucking heartbreaking.
Oh, it is.
I can't stand to watch those shows. I'll cry the whole time.
Right, yeah,
I can't do it.
It's very brutal because you just want to scream at the TV like you can easily stop this.
They don't want to. They know that.
I know.
They can't.
It's crazy. Well, one of them, not to, belabor the point, but one of them went to the doctor a month later and he had given her a goal of losing, I think, 60 pounds and she had gained 12. And this is like, under doctor supervision. So like she knows
Right.
she's going to go back. Like, and that, that accountability is what keeps me.
And
straight,
it's just
'cause
on
I
a
know-
stupid podcast.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're on TLC.
I know. Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, like I said, heartbreaking, horrible. All right, guys. Well, that's the show for this week. Make sure you send us emails, info@fitandfurious.com. Send us questions, topic ideas. What do you want to know about? Watch on YouTube to watch all the shenanigans and valuable visuals and weekly extra content. See if we run that Army fitness test. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yes.
Check us out anywhere podcasts are found, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, et cetera, et cetera. Subscribe, rate, review, and share. It really helps out the show. Go to furiousmerch.com for t-shirts. That helps support the show. And we will see you next week.